Mexican here with me. This ain't a diss song, but yeah, you know what it is. I'm a cheesehead, y'all niggas cheese whiz. Pittsburgh Steelers, that's nothing. That Super Bowl ring, that's nothing. Pull up in your town when you see me, you know everything. Green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow. I put it down, representing for my team. I'm in green.
How has Devontae looked and what you've seen him do so far?
Good. No, it's fun to have him out there.
I know you don't want to have a really good player not playing, but in the long run, could this maybe be good for the team that he's in? Because it's, I don't want to say it's forced, but it's helped the offense evolve into what it is now, and now you're going to add a really good player to what you're already doing.
Yeah, I mean, anybody we get to have out there on the field, we're excited about. I mean, it's just like, when you put a guy of that caliber out there, it's always going to make everybody better, and I think it's just good for the whole team. So we're excited to have him.
Halfway through, Nathaniel, do you guys, Matt and Luke and the rest of the offensive staff, feel like you know your guys and what they all can do at this point? Because I think up until Devontae was hurt, still, Alan Lazard, for instance, what he could do in a game. Do you have a better feel for that 20 or so guys of what they are?
I think definitely. I think, spending this much time with the guys, I think you're always learning every day, because you never know who's going to be out there. I mean, you don't know if Devontae's going to play. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, anything that you do, it's fun to watch people take advantage of their opportunities. And I think a guy like Allen, Gmo, all the guys that have been out there, Evan Bayless has been out there. I think the more you get to see him play in a true football environment, because there's one thing in OTAs, one thing in training camp, one thing in preseason, but until it's the real game, that's when you get to learn about guys. So I think we definitely have gotten a better feel on what we want all the guys to do, and we just got to keep expanding that and developing, and then doing the things that we're good at also.
How many times did you watch the touchdown to Jamal before moving on to Chargers prep?
I'm not gonna lie, a couple times. It was pretty unique, especially the reaction of all of us. We thought he was throwing it away, and then it's that idea of throwing it away, and then we scored. It was pretty. It was pretty incredible throw and catch. Jamal did a great job scrambling right to the spot. I mean, Jimmy was trying to get open, and Aaron put it where nobody else could get it except Jamal. So I thought that was really fun to watch.
So from the box, you thought you're upstairs. Right?
Yes.
So you thought he was throwing it away.
Yeah, and it was one of those things. It's like, oh, okay, he threw it away. What? And then you start screaming. We scored a touchdown. So I mean, it was pretty exciting. It was one of those things when you're a little sad and then really happy at the same time.
So many big plays, like across the league, we see some get called back for holding on. Aaron Jones, his second touchdown, I think it was Corey, Jimmy, and Bakhtiari who had the blocks on the edge. Could the blocking have been much better on that play to kind of spring him loose?
Golly, that was so long ago. I don't remember. I don't think so. It wasn't called, so I would say they were all perfect.
Have you been in situations where your left tackle isn't necessarily that great, and you have to give him help, and you have to scheme for it? And what's the difference when you have a guy like Bakhtiari? Do you literally go in to each game thinking, okay, for the majority of the time we can leave him alone on whoever it is he's going up against?
I'll tell you, I'll give credit to both of those tackles. I mean, both those guys have done just a great job this whole year. And I think it's one of those things you always want to continue to help them, no matter what, no matter who they are, because you never want to put one guy on an island over and over again. You never want to put that pressure on anybody. So I think we always kind of go in the same philosophy as always wanting to try to protect people, always wanting to be able to give them a couple plays that, hey, we've got a little support for you, so they get confidence back or get more confidence. So I think that's always something that we're thinking about. Protection's always first. Trying to keep Aaron upright is always going to be the key. So I think you're always kind of going in with that mindset no matter who you have.
Going back a little bit to, do you know who these guys are? Do you have a good idea at all about Jay Sternberger yet? I mean, I know he's been practicing, but concussion in the joint practice, missed all that time. He plays a little and then is hurt. And obviously being a rookie, I know he's close to being able to come back.
Yeah, I think anytime you're dealing with a rookie, I mean, like I said before, you never know until there are 80,000 people in the stands and it's actually crunch time and you've got a lot of things going at truly full speed. Even in practice, you try to simulate it as much as you can, but it's never going to be like that on game day. So I would say until his opportunity comes, just like some of the other guys that have had great opportunities and taken advantage of them, it's going to probably at some point be the same for him.
Does he just need to practice? I know the decision has to be made until Tuesday, but is this a guy who just needs, whether he plays or not this year, it's kind of early, he just needs to go practice for 7 weeks,
Yeah, I think everybody needs to always practice as much as possible. I think that just helps you. It helps you get better. So I think especially as a young player, the more looks you can see, the more people you can go against, the more competition you can create, it's just going to make everybody better.
Halfway through, Nathaniel, I mean, I know that it's probably too easy to just, double the numbers and say, okay, the guys are on pace for whatever. However, if you look at receptions and ball distribution, the rushing yards and attempts, Aaron's numbers, they kind of match up with where Matt has been when those offenses have run really well under Kyle. Has this come along more quickly than you think, being the first year, going back to with all you guys being new to the system, all that stuff?
Yeah, I think Aaron and Jamal, both those guys have done such a great job. We've been in some positions when we've been able to get some matchups that we've liked, and they've been able to take advantage of those matchups and do some big things. I thought, this past game, I mean, both of those guys had some critical plays versus some matchups that we had talked about and wanted to try to get. So I think anytime you can get that, I mean, that's what this league's about. This league is trying to get matchups as much as possible. And I think that being able to find that, Aaron being able to identify that, and then them to be able to make it happen. I mean, I think that's been something that has really shown up quite a bit. And, Aaron's just getting better and better, and so is Jamal. I mean, both those guys. I mean, even Danny, we've seen him. I mean, that room's done a really nice job. I mean, doing certain things that we didn't necessarily know going into the season, whether they could or not. And I think that's kind of the whole process of the season. The first half of the season, you're trying to learn, you're trying to figure out what the guys can do, especially as a new staff. And now you're getting a feel for it, and there are guys that are able to make plays. So I think it's all positive.
We always ask you at the beginning of the season, who's going to be the number 2 to Devontae, and then he's out. You guys go 4-0, put up over 30 points a game. Is that more a testament to you have a Hall of Fame quarterback who can make these guys look really good, or did some of these receivers, Akumar, Lazard, maybe even surprise you a little bit?
I think it's a combination of everything. I mean, having Aaron Rodgers back there is always going to be an exciting deal. He's done a really good job. I mean, he's getting better and every week, which is awesome. And, all those guys, I think it's so great when you have, a bunch of them and you can roll them in and you get guys fresh and they take advantage of those opportunities like we talked a little bit before. So I think it's just one of those things. I think it's a combination of the whole group. I mean, it starts with the protection. I mean, the line's playing well. So when you give Aaron time and you give those guys time to get open down the field, it's never really just one guy. It's about the team, and that's what we always talk about in there.
Is there something to be said for the way this offense is in the pass game is to spread it around? Usually someone doesn't catch 120 passes. To have a bunch of guys who are undrafted free agents or low round picks who kind of just scrap and claw their way to a roster, you don't really have guys screaming, I need the ball as much. You know what I mean?
Everybody wants the ball.
I know everybody wants the ball, but it's not, you know what I'm saying? You don't have 3 first-round picks, you know what I mean? So that these guys seem willing to play the team game.
I'll tell you, I think it's character. I think we've got a really good character group of guys. I mean, all those guys understand it's about winning a football game. When Devontae does get back, I mean, he's going to fit right in that mold. I mean, he's a great guy. He's got great character. All the guys have great character. It's about the team. It's about doing what's right. You never want to force the ball one place. You want to take advantage of matchups. I mean, that's what we talk about. That's going to help everybody. It's going to take pressure off everybody because it's not about just one guy. So I think that's something that we always preach. That's what we want to be about as an offense. We want to be balanced as much as we possibly can. And but at the same time, if you get a hot hand, you want to go with that. I mean, Devontae had a big game versus Philadelphia, I think it was. And then, Aaron's had a couple big games. So I think it's just, it's always the ebb and flow, each week.
Would you agree with Matt in saying that Bosa and Ingram are, if not among the best, one of the best edge rushing duos in the league?
Yeah, they're really good. they're phenomenal. I mean, those guys. I mean, Ingram's been doing it for a while, and I mean, he's fantastic. And then you put Bosa on the other side, and I mean, he's one-man wrecking shop also. So it's going to be a great challenge for us this week. And the system that they run allows them to really get off the ball and go to work. So we have to account for them at all times.
Oh yeah. Young Moolah, baby.